Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I am your host, Mikey, and as always, riding with me, Shotgun. My boy Tommy, what's going on, brother?
What is going on, Mr. Mikey? Happy Friday.
Oh, God, yes, happy Friday. It was a long week, brother, as we were texted back and forth. By the way,
I know.
You were putting in some work this week.
Woo!
And we'll get into that topic, but you were putting in some work this week.
I've been putting work in for the past 2 months, brother. I don't know if you noticed, but yeah. I've been grinding and running real quick thing. I've been putting work in to this podcast studio of mine.
I saw that. I saw that.
It's back, baby.
I see a new addition behind you as well.
Do you? I'm probably the only one right now, guys. Madden 24, the poster. Yeah. Yes, sir. That shit is so dope, bro. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Josh Allen is next. Buffalo going 16-1. Who's the one? That's the one I want to know. Who's the one?
I know. He was on. Josh Allen is the next Elway was on Rally Towel on Wednesday and said the same thing, and they were like, "We want to know who's the one."
I do. I want to know.
Right. And I was waiting for his answer on that one. And they were like, "Oh, week 18, right?" Like they started like saying,
when we said Josh, right. Week 18.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, that probably makes sense.
Thank you, brother. Thanks, Jason. I had a good time last week. Did some family stuff. I caught the tail end of the show. Tried to pop in. Tommy likes to ignore me and when I get into the chat because I like to give him a hard time.
That's
so
right.
He reads it. He's like, yeah, I'm not answering that.
That's right.
It's like trigger him. I get him in his feelings.
Don't trigger me. Make me mad. You saw what happened when I get mad.
Yeah. Dr. Trimble killed it last week.
He did, man. Good guy. I love that dude, man. Good guy.
I was bummed I missed him.
Yeah, so he told you about the Vaughn thing, and by the way, right after comes out that he says fully healed. So I really want to talk to him again because I'm curious what all that means. Does that mean he's ready to go? Like, very interesting.
Scott says he doesn't see the lights. What lights is he talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know what lights he's talking about. He doesn't see the lights. He doesn't see the lights in the Friday night lights.
I don't know. It's here. It's here. I promise you.
Yeah, I did catch you, Jason. I appreciate you you saying hello when I popped in into the chat. Just like the catch up even when I'm not. I was in between in between functions, so I'm like, let me check in and see what's going on Friday Night Lights and say hello. But this week there's a lot of news this week, and not just Buffalo Bills news around the league. So Tommy, I figured we'd start with around the league stuff, and then we'll get into the Bills topics. Mm-hmm. We'll start with, did you see this beef that's going on between Jamar Chase and Patrick Mahomes?
I did not. Tell me about it, because my mind's only been on one thing, so go ahead.
I have not had a chance to catch up on much, and today I had some time. I finally, I got off a little early today, got to sit down, catch up on some football stuff, so it was nice. But I guess they were talking. Jamar Chase was talking to somebody. I don't know if it was in an interview or what he was doing, but he said that Joe Burrow was the best player in the league, and they said, "What about Patrick Mahomes?" And he said, "Pat who?"
Who said this?
Jamar Chase.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's interesting.
So last night, the Chiefs get their Super Bowl rings, right?
Right.
And in a ceremony, Patrick Mahomes has two of them on like this, And he said, "That's who." Back to Jamar Chase.
Oh, well, I mean, technically, he's right. I mean, technically, he's right. And
Yeah.
and until Burrow and until really Allen gets a
Mm-hmm.
ring, I mean, he is top dog right now. For as much as we hate to admit it, he is the guy that we need to dethrone, right? Just like all those other AFC East teams, by the way, talking that trash, they need to dethrone the Buffalo Bills. So
Can we please talk about D Hop for 2 hours?
yeah, let's do it.
We'll get to D Hop. First, let me answer Jason's question here. He said, "What's
Yeah,
this
go
thing? What's this draft thing they're talking about?" It's the supplemental draft. The supplemental draft is actually stopped right as the pandemic hit. They used to do it every year, so it's for any underclassmen that meet the draft eligible, or those seniors that meet the draft eligible that decide they don't want to go back to school. They can go into the supplemental draft now. And so then all of the NFL teams can post. It's like a blind bidding. It's like a blind bidding. So you say, "I'm willing to give up my 3rd round pick next year. I'm giving up my 2nd round pick next year," and then they rank you, and then based off of who it is, whoever has the highest pick. And I don't know how they come up with the highest pick for next year's draft,
Right.
but
Right.
they get you rewarded, and next year's draft will be without that guy. So that's what the drafting is. They're talking about a supplemental draft. It's been around forever. I can think in my lifetime there's been maybe 5 people selected in a supplemental draft. Maurice Clarett was one of them. Remember back when he petitioned to get into the league early?
I do, and then he didn't, and then he's tried to sue or something like
Yeah,
that.
and then they let him in. Then they let him in,
and then he wound up being a bust.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
A couple guys, had to do it because they got in trouble and got kicked off of their teams at school, so they went in the supplemental draft.
Okay.
Usually, if someone picks them up, they're giving up like a 5th or a 6th, round pick is usually
Right.
where, there's no super high picks, but that's what they're talking about. Just so you know. The D Hop thing. So let's talk about the D Hop thing for a second. D Hop went on 2 visits. He went to Tennessee, and I guess they were trying to wine him and dine him. And if I heard this correctly on Pat McAfee, they flew him out on Southwest
Yes.
and then tried to wine him and dine him,
or flew him back on Southwest, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Either way, he went.
Either way, they put him on Southwest.
Right, which is like the worst of the worst, right? I that's odd, very odd.
No, don't get me wrong. I love Southwest when I travel because it's super easy. It's
Right.
Pick your own seat. But I also travel domestically. It's like a 4-hour flight, so it's not a huge deal.
Right.
But I guess if I was a professional athlete, I wouldn't want to be traveling Southwest.
A superstar athlete too.
Yeah.
Not just like if you're like a nobody really athlete. Let's say a guy just trying to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when we brought in OBJ last year, we sent Pagula's jet.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's what you got to do sometimes. You got to wine and dine these guys. But I heard though, other than that, they did a good job with him as far as like,
they brought out Tim McGraw, and he got to
Yeah.
meet Tim McGraw, and then he left Tennessee. They let him out of the building, and he flew up to Gillette and had a meeting with the Patriots. He left that building
He did.
without a
He was there
contract.
2 days. He was there 2 days though.
Yep. But he left that building without a contract. So it'll be interesting to see. He wants an OBJ contract. He wants a 1 year, 15 with up to 18.
I don't understand. I don't get it though, Mikey. I'm confused on that because I understand the OBJ thing. Like I understand kind of OBJ doing a 1 year deal because I mean, like that guy may not even make it through a season, right? Like, right, the way he is, he just doesn't stay healthy. D-Hop could probably stay healthy, but I thought he wanted to go to a team that, the things with him is he's getting older, right? So if you're trying to do it, now's your chance. Take a little less to do like a 2 year deal instead of a 1 year deal, right? I'm just saying, right? Because if you do it, let's say you do a 1 year deal with the Patriots. Come on, let's be real. Mac Jones, I thought you wanted to be with a real quarterback. The Patriots, even with D-Hop, aren't going anywhere far, right? Let's just be real. It's just not. I'm sorry, Patriot fans. You're probably the lowest on the as far as the AFC East goes right now. If I had to rank, even with D-Hop, I still think they're going to be fighting for that last spot, in my opinion. Now, so let's say he goes there, 1 year, $15 million, and let's say he does. Let's say something bad happens, or let's say he gets older and doesn't look as good. Right? So now maybe he even lessened his value going to find another team because now he's only on a 1-year deal. Now you do a 2-year deal at a little bit less with, like, say, Buffalo, Chiefs, wherever, Titans. At least he's there and guaranteed 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And he's on a contender. Now, I don't know about the Titans being so much a contender, but the Chiefs, the Bills, you know what I mean? So I don't get the logic unless it's just all about money, which that's probably what it is at the end of the day.
You know,
it's a $15 million
AJ Watt said the same thing last year. I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. They need to get their bag while they can get it.
I get it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's his thinking, Mikey. Maybe he's thinking, damn, I am getting older. Maybe I want to just play. Well, like, I won't say anything, but maybe this will be my last year. I'll just take that 15 and be done with it. I mean, T.O. did it with us.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of those things where he's thinking he only has one more year.
No, but maybe 1 year. I'm talking about to get paid like that. So let's say he makes it through this year. Let's say he's not as dynamic as he thinks he is, or let's just say he's not, right? Then let's say the next contract he gets might be less than 15. You know what I'm saying?
Or
so
he's
maybe
betting on himself. I think he's betting on himself.
Yeah, or he's betting on himself.
Because
but
he's
is
thinking,
he worth more than 15 though? Can he make it? Get a higher contract?
He goes out and puts up the D-Hop numbers.
Yeah, he had to really. With Mac Jones, though?
I'm not saying. I don't think he's going to end up with the
You know what I'm saying?
Personally.
But let's say he puts the D-Hop numbers up with a better quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like, he goes out and goes with
you
let's say
look
he's
at some
the
of the
man
quarterbacks
there.
that he's played with. Like, he put up great numbers with Colt McCoy and a bunch of
but he put up even better numbers when he was with Deshaun Watson. He put up even better numbers when Murray was on his game, right? I'm just saying.
But do you really think Murray's that good? I don't think Murray's
that
good.
But he's better than Colt McCoy. I mean, he is.
Is he better than Mac Jones?
Yes.
He runs better.
I think I do. I think maybe not now. Maybe not now, Mikey, because he's kind of lost. Like, maybe his focus isn't there. But when he was on, yeah, I think he has a bigger arm than him. You know what I mean? I think he's more athletic than Mac Jones. You know what I mean? He can scramble around and get, buy time to get DeAndre Hopkins even more open. Yeah, I do. I think he is a little better than Mac Jones in that sense.
Yeah, no, Jason, I'm with you. He wants the money. There is no contenders that has that money.
No, that's it.
Dalvin Cook. Let's just move into Dalvin Cook real quick. Yep. Dalvin Cook is looking for a 2 years, $18 million contract. I
heard $9 a year.
There's no major contenders that have that kind of cash.
No, and he might wind up making a mistake and doing a what's his name? The running back for the Steelers that did that.
Oh, Le'Veon.
Yeah, you got to be careful as a running back. Like, take the best offer right now, especially when you're getting up there.
If his best offers maybe with the Chicago Bears, who have a ton of money, go get your bag.
You take it. You have to at his age. You know what I mean? He's not a young
he's 27.
running back. You know? Yeah, but I know. But a 2-year deal will be 29. You know how they say after that. It's like, so I agree with you. Get your bag now, but then you're going to be on a bad team. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know.
Yep. So then, before we get into the Bills and the Mad Chatter's in here, and I promise you, I'll get to his stuff. He's putting a bunch of stuff in there about the Bills. Let's go around the league on some of the holdouts. We'll start with Kansas City. No Chris Jones. Chris Jones holding out. He wants his money.
Yep.
New York Jets. Williams, their defensive tackle, wants his money.
Yep.
Connor Williams, the center for the Miami Dolphins.
Yep, he held out a camp.
Wants his money. Then we have a couple possible hold-ins in Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, who haven't been paid yet.
Correct.
Now, they're going to show up to camp, but they might not be doing a whole bunch of stuff until they get their contracts.
They could be doing a Josh Allen type of deal, and they might wind up getting it.
Yeah, but Josh
before the season starts.
Yeah, but Josh didn't do a bunch of stuff until they paid him. They held him out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. He may wind up doing that. They may wind up, and they probably will get it. Listen, Bengals cannot let Burrow walk, right? You better lock that up. And same with Herbert. Herbert's a really good quarterback. Like,
Herbert's
San Diego's right. They've been like, listen, you got to lock him up. Like, you got to figure it out. That's your number one skill position. That's your franchise guy. You have him right there. Go ahead and do whatever you got to do to get those guys locked in and for their years, for many years. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we did with Josh. Like, Josh is the guy now. We have no worries for a long time, right? So they need to do the same. And I think they will, Mikey. I do. I don't think they're going to let that get
I think
out of
they
control.
will too. Now, here's the thing when it comes to the Bengals. They have 3 guys they have to pay. They have to pay Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, all up for contracts.
One might go, and that might be T, if I had a guess. I
Higgins?
don't know how they could. Yeah, I don't know how they could swing all that cash, man. Unless they wind up letting some other people go.
They're gonna have to start cutting that defense.
That's what I'm saying.
Because,
they're gonna have to.
Because if you go back and look, everyone talks about how great Burrow's been in the play. Burrow really hasn't been great in the playoffs. Burrow's been okay in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but that defense has.
He hasn't been electric, right?
That defense has carried them.
Yeah, no, they have. Yeah, 100%.
And at some point, they're gonna start losing people from there. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
It will be, man. It will be.
Do you think who do you think signs first? Do you think it's Herbert or do you think it's Burrow?
I honestly have no idea. I think both of them wind up signing before the season, but I would say maybe the Burrow deal gets done first. But if Burrow's smart, maybe he waits for the Herbert deal to get done. Because it's like, how that goes. Oh, Herbert got this. I feel like I've gotten this all the way to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl. I got a Super Bowl. I think I'm worth a little bit more than Herbert. You know what I mean? Like, because if they pay Burrow, and let's say Herbert gets paid a little more, you know how that is. Players want to get paid more. I'm just saying. So very possible that his agent holds out to see if Herbert gets paid first, and then they go from there. But there'll be really high contracts either way. They're going to get paid. Burrow might wind up being the highest paid.
Burrow looks great against the Bills' secondary linebackers.
Yeah, when we're 10 yards away.
we're also playing. We were, by the time Burrow was in there, we were playing with 4th string safeties.
Super cushion.
I did not understand our game plan, but we'll get into that. That's another topic. So, so let's go back to some of the things. We'll talk a little bit about the Bills now. That's kind of my around the league. Oh, one last one around the league. I forgot about this. Antonio Brown. Did you hear about Antonio Brown?
Yeah, we talked briefly on it. Yeah. So I saw the I saw his crazy interview, which once again, that dude is like, I'm telling you, bro, there's something wrong with him mentally. I hate to say that, but maybe from the football hits, maybe from what's his name giving him that concussion.
Or maybe he just
maybe it's everything combined. I don't know, but either way, that dude is off his rocker. Bought a team and didn't pay the bills.
Arena team. Bought an arena team.
Yeah, an arena owned it. No, okay. So initially, and we'll make this quick. He bought into it. Okay, so he didn't own it completely. He was part owner. Then he bought everybody out who owned it. Then he owned 95% of it. Then he cut everybody's hotels rooms off the players. So they went to go in their hotel. They didn't have keys, right? And they had to get their way in there somehow. Then he didn't pay the dues. Then he lost the team. Or he owns the team, but they can't play in the Arena League anymore. So it's a nightmare. That guy has problems. But yeah, man, it doesn't surprise me though. You know what I mean? When it comes to him.
Yep. Man, the chat's talking about Diggs' issue. So let's transition into no shows.
I had a whole week of that, boy.
I know.
By the way, I am a little cooled down, so tonight won't be so bad when me and you going back and forth.
I think part of it.
I already did my.
I think part of it also is the way McDermott came out. He triggered everybody. When he came out, he didn't tell anybody that Diggs was there before he took his physical. He didn't tell anyone Diggs was there in the morning, and then they decided to have conversations, and he didn't give anything. He just says he's not here. I'm concerned. Everyone was like, "What the hell?"
Right. So let's talk about this. Let's have a reasonable me and you back.
We can try.
Like we try.
It's a very triggering.
But I think we can because
we're on different sides.
I think we can. But I think we can. I think me and you are in the same. Of what happened. I think we're on the same, understanding. So, let's dial back. So, was it Tuesday or Monday was that? It was Tuesday, right?
Tuesday was the first practice.
First practice, okay. So, when Tuesday came out, and by the way, I thought over the weekend, I swear that Diggs was going to show up to mandatory minicamp. Even you did. Even you said, no, he'll be there on mandatory. He's never missed. And I said, yeah. And I even cut a video. I said, for sure. So Tuesday comes, and we get the first thing. We get McDermott saying what we just talked about, right? He's everyone's here. Now, by the way, I want to backtrack. When he did his presser, guys, I noticed body language like a motherfucker, right? Mm-hmm. His body language, that was maybe the most pissed I've ever seen him. His facial expression, he looked mad. Like, he looked mad. And I said, uh-oh. Like, you could kind of tell. And even reporters there, Mikey, said the same. Like, he just wasn't the same McDermott the way he presents himself. He was in his feelings. Right? He was in his feelings. So, but we don't know this, right? None of us know. We don't know what's going on. So he talks to media. He says everybody's there but one guy, Stefon Diggs, right? And then he was asked, is it concerning or something like that? Yeah. And he said, yeah, I'm very concerned. Now, then to come find out, 2 hours later, Diggs was in the building. Diggs talked to Brandon Beane. Diggs talked to Sean McDermott and the wide receiver coach, the new wide receiver coach. I always forget his name. And then he left, right? Then we're like, oh, what? And then Diggs tweets out later about capping and basically don't lie. If that what makes you feel better, okay, dog, right? That's clearly towards McDermott, right? There's nobody else he could be talking to. So those are later, also
strong lyrics.
Yes, is that very? Yeah, I know that, but it's still you lyrics. I could say, you know what I'm saying. If I put out song lyrics for a meaning, that means I'm in my feelings too, right? And it's meaningful for something. Anyway, so then it comes out, Mikey, that they had the meeting, and then Sean McDermott the next day says, "Hey, so we had the meeting. I want to clarify this," and things got a little I think we just needed a break from each other. If I told you I'm fighting with my girl and we needed a break, right? Usually it means it got heated. And what probably happened, Mikey, was it got heated because they haven't talked for 6 months, right? 6 months of nothing, right? And that could be, I'm going to say that's on Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, and Stefon Diggs. You can't say Stefon Diggs not a fault either, because if you have a problem, you talk to that person as well, right? It's not just on one side. If I got a problem with you, Mikey, I'm gonna bring it to you. If you got a problem with me, you're gonna bring it, or we're gonna talk to each other somehow. We're gonna make that. We're gonna clear it up. We're not gonna wait around till we do a show on Friday Night Lights, and I'm like pissed off at you all week. I'm like, ugh, right? So,
although that might be good entertainment,
right. So what? Like I said, so then he says, then I excused him. So what happened basically, Mikey, is Sean McDermott in that meeting probably got pissed. Something happened. They're not going to say. He probably told Diggs, just go home. Just let's just everybody go their ways. And then he instantly did the presser, and he was pissed. He was heated. He was in his emotions, and you could tell. And I think the right thing at that time, Sean McDermott should have pushed off on the presser, cooled down, then did the presser maybe after minicamp, right? While he cooled down, relaxed, understood what he was going to say, because I think he got caught off guard with the question by the media. He was already steaming up, and he just said what he said. But that's where I'm at with that meeting, though, right? So I just think that I think now that the dust is cleared, I think everybody's kind of at fault in their own little ways, right? I think Diggs wasn't perfect either. I think Diggs has, I think Diggs last year, and he even said it, and by the way, I didn't even hear this interview. He said it, I forget what show he was on, Dan Patrick maybe. He said the second half of season 2022 is where he started feeling like things weren't right. He's starting to get a little bit frustrated, which we all saw. We saw in the Lions game, right? That was the first interaction we saw Sean McDermott and Diggs kind of. Yeah, no, it wasn't just that, but that was the first one that was really caught, right? Where he had to pull him aside.
Yeah, no, I get that. What I'm saying is, it wasn't just Diggs that saw that there was something wrong.
No, I know, but it was Diggs that was, because Diggs was probably the first to express his emotions. How about that?
Yeah.
Right? I'm sure a lot of people, but Diggs was the first. And by the way, cameras are going to always go towards the main guy. They're not going to go to somebody else, right, who's frustrated. But either way, so I think that carried on, and I think when we lost in that game, I think Diggs, against the Bengals, I think Diggs was so, at that point, I think he reached his boiling point, Mikey. I do. I think he took it out on Josh. Maybe, I know he shouldn't have done that. You don't do that. Josh, listen, the one guy that has your back, right, is Josh Allen. Right? He's never put any player down. He's always had Diggs back. He's had everyone's back, even if they were in the wrong. So maybe not the right thing to do there, but I think Diggs was just caught up in his emotion, just like Sean McDermott was caught up in his emotion on Tuesday, right? Fair? Then Diggs storms out of the locker room. Duke Johnson has to go get him. That probably wasn't a cool thing to do. He did go back. I get that, but he was also caught up in the emotion. Then you had 6 months, right, to figure things out, right? You could have, listen, a phone call is very easy to make. And same with Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott could have called Diggs and said, hey, man, I know the season didn't end too great. You know what I mean?
Like, this is where me and you differ. I put the onus on Bean and McDermott as the leaders of the organization to reach out. Now, first off, I love how Bean does it. At the end of the year, he lets everybody go to cool down, recharge. I'm saying March, he should have been reaching out. Hey, and if he can't get a hold of Diggs, get a hold of his agent. Hey, we know at the end of the year there was some, a lot of issues. We want to touch base, make sure things are going okay.
Definitely. They definitely could have.
That didn't happen at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they're just as guilty. I think Josh Allen said it best. I think the communication broke. I think it was not there. And this is where we land this week, right? Where the communication just wasn't there. And then I think everybody kind of reached their boiling point. Maybe Stefon Diggs said some things that he shouldn't have at that meeting. Maybe Sean McDermott said some things, right? Maybe the new wide receiver coach. Who knows? I am interested why Ken Dorsey wasn't in that meeting. Kind of odd for me. Now, I'm just who knows?
He wasn't. They just didn't say it.
I mean, it's odd they wouldn't say it. I mean, they would say the wide receiver coach, not Ken Dorsey.
I don't know.
What I mean? Why bring him up, not the coach? You know what I mean? I don't think he was. I really don't.
He may not.
And that now once again,
you saw the video of him and Dorsey talking at.
Exactly. So here's my thinking too. It could have been nothing to do with Dorsey.
Yeah,
and that's why Dorsey wasn't there. One. Or it could have had something to, and he didn't want to really make.
That's why he wasn't there.
Right. So it's like right now, it's all like because we don't know, and that's the one thing too about Diggs. I just wish, like he would say, "Hey," you know what I mean? And it's not gonna. I get it. He's not gonna do it. It's the cryptic thing, but I just really wish it would come clear and to say, "Hey, I honestly, guys, I just wasn't happy with blah 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 blah." And we talked about it and da-da-da. And I think it would clear everything and everybody can move on. Because right now it's still speculation. Also, I don't know if you heard about it, and I know we're jumping off and we're going to talk about Diggs, but today came out that Mike Lombardi said that Sean McDermott actually took over the 13-second defensive play calling against the Chiefs in 2021.
That makes me want to throw up.
That is so interesting because if that is true,
it makes me want to throw up.
I am super concerned. like man, and I got some apologizing to do to Leslie Frazier because we
blasted Frazier for that.
Absolutely, and I honestly,
and it
Mikey,
really concerns me knowing that McDermott has the play calling this year. That's really thank you, Jason. Yes, that's what I want to do. If McDermott really called that defense back to back after the issues with the non-squib kick,
right? Ugh. Everything, and then it makes you really wonder, Mikey. And truthfully, is he calling defensive plays last season too, against the Dolphins, against the Bengals? We don't know. Why did Leslie Frazier just get up and leave? Was it? That's another thing too.
Frazier though.
No, I know. I get
Chad
that.
Hall's gone.
Chad Hall,
we
the
lost
special
our
teams
coordinator. Every year we've our defensive line coach left, and that's when they brought in Eric Washington. Like every year we seem to be losing one of our position coaches, and they're not leaving for promotions; they're leaving for the same job elsewhere.
Frazier didn't even leave for a job. He left for no job, right?
He's out looking for one.
No, he is, but I'm saying he didn't have an offer. You know what I mean? He just left. Yeah. So it's odd. It really and I'll tell you, and that's why I said to you too. I'm not team anybody. Like I don't like that phrase. This is a team. I'm team Buffalo Bills, man. I want us to win a Super Bowl badly, Mikey. I don't care. Like whatever. Get it right. Get your things together. But I said this in 2021, and I asked you this back then. Is Sean McDermott? Is people going to start questioning him now? Can he lead this team to a Super Bowl? You know what I mean? Like, will people eventually stop trusting the process? Will all that start now? Because I was hearing it in Bill's Mafia, but trust me, players talk. Players have feelings, as you can see. Diggs is upset. So I really wonder if, the players are starting to talk as well. You'll never know, but I'm very curious, man. You know what I mean? Clearly, Diggs is upset about something. You know what I mean? So
yes, Al.
he's.
So Sal comes in and says Bills are like abused stepchildren. Can't get rid of McDermott. He might be another Marty Schottenheimer. Might be another Marvin Lewis. We can get there, just can't get over the hump. Your light just keeps going out.
Yeah,
it's all right.
No.
It doesn't make that much of a difference. You're good.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna go out again.
Yeah, it doesn't make that much of a difference, so you're good.
Right,
you are a little bit darker, but it's all right.
Not good.
It's all good.
All right.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
It's one of those things when you start talking about the coach. I listened to a few of the talking heads. Colin Cowherd's one, and he's been on this kick for about 3 years now about how you look at the defensive coordinators around the league that are head coaches, the defensive head coaches, and none of them, outside of Bill Belichick, win. And the more and more he talks about it, the more and more I have to start to agree with him. We have Josh Allen in his prime. Are we really going to waste Josh Allen's prime hoping McDermott can get us over the hump? Right. At what point do we say, okay, we gave him 7 years, he couldn't do it, we need to move on before we let our monster quarterback or alien quarterback get out of his prime? Right. Now, I'm also Team Buffalo. I hope McDermott can do it. I like him. I like what he brought. We went from, the laughingstock of the league to one of the best teams in the league with him running the show, with him and Bean. So do I hope he gets over it this year and we win it all? Yeah. My concern is we needed offensive help this year, and we went out and signed defensive linemen. We signed Leonard Floyd, Poona Ford. We gave Ed Oliver a big, giant contract. We did what at our wide receivers? We brought in Trent Sherfield and the artist formerly known as Harris, Hardy.
That's what I have to do for now.
We didn't do a whole lot on our offense. Where's the weapons?
Yeah, I agree. So, listen, Trent Sherfield's interesting to me. I'm not going to lie. He's an interesting pickup. I think, listen, if Trent Sherfield can do what he did in Miami, even 500 yards receiving, I'll take it, Mikey. I'll take it as a third receiver, right? The question mark is, like you said, is wide receiver 2, right? For as much as I love Gabe Davis had an off year. And can Gabe Davis bounce back? And I have a feeling he will for a couple reasons. One, it's a contract year. So you know how contract years are. These guys are definitely going to try to play out for their contract. That's one. Two, he's coming in healthy, okay? That ankle injury, I'm telling you, affected him a little bit. And he still had 875. So I don't think it was as bad as a season as everyone says it was. It wasn't great, but he could still wind up getting a pretty good amount of yards, even if Gabe Davis gets 875 again. And Trent Sherfield gives us 500. And then you got Khalil Shakir. If he can give us close to, let's say, 400, 500, right? And then you got Dawson Knox. Can Dawson Knox rebound and give us what he did in 2021? Then we're talking, right? But it's all a question mark, Mikey. It's Kenny, Willie. I don't know, right? The only guy we know is Stefon Diggs. That's the only guy right now that we can, you know what I mean?
Even in our running back, even in our backfield, we don't know what Cook is. Is Harris healthy? We have no idea. Naeem Hines got here and couldn't figure out the playbook last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing on offense that tells me, ooh, juggernaut. It's Josh Allen making stuff happen.
Right.
And that goes back to, even with all of these weapons so-called weapons that we have, you remove Steph Davis, we have a bottom third receiving unit in the NFL. You add Stefon Diggs, we have probably top 12 receiving unit in the NFL.
Right.
Can Dorsey figure out how to use them?
Yes.
But can Dorsey and Josh Allen get on the same page where Josh doesn't hold the ball an extra 5 seconds and try to go deep? Take those underneath quick hitters. Give the guy a chance for yak. And you know, part of it's Allen. And that's Dorsey need to get into Allen's ass to tell him, hey, pull the trigger sooner. Don't wait so long to come down. We don't have to send 4 guys 20 yards downfield. It's okay to have a guy go 3 yards, catch it, and run for 7.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with you. Go ahead with the super chat.
Super chat, Youngtown Kings. We are fine with our weapons. We just need a run game. I do agree with that. I also think bringing in David Edwards, Connor McGovern, and drafting Osiris Torrance helps our interior.
And Shell.
Shell's as a swing offensive lineman.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about from our interior. Where we lost last year really bad was on the interior offensive line.
100%. Saffold and Bates.
Josh couldn't step up to get out of trouble because it collapsed on him.
Correct.
You know?
No. Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the only other question mark, too, that I have, beside that, if you want to go to the running game, too, but the running game is a little question mark, but I don't think it's as bad as you think if the offensive line can do their job. James Cook had a good second half, guys. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with the additions of Osiris Torrance, we did the additions of McGovern, who are both run block type offensive linemen. And even Spencer Brown is more of a run blocker. James Cook could really have a pretty good season. And then you got Harris. If Harris can stay healthy, that is a great pickup. But once again, the question mark, can he stay healthy? But Spencer Brown also is the question mark, too, on the offensive line. Now, I think, Mikey, I feel like on paper that this offensive line is much improved. It's still a work in progress, but I feel like Spencer Brown now that has the offseason to work with Cromer that he didn't have last year, right? I think you're going to see a different, better Spencer Brown heading into week 1 of the 2023 season, in my opinion. If it doesn't work out or he gets hurt, I really believe in Brandon Shell as well. He was a really good right tackle for the Dolphins last year. He stepped up when they needed one. He did a phenomenal job. But I'm just saying, a lot of Dolphin fans.
He has a lot of starts. He has a lot.
Yeah.
He is solid. He's not spectacular as a tackle. Yeah. But he is a guy. He was a solid tackle.
Yeah. So I'll take it, man.
He's an NFL starter.
Yeah. And we got to listen. 1-year deal. Once again, though, the only thing I really hope, though, that next season, I know we're talking way earlier, but I hope next season we work through the draft again, Mikey, on the offensive line. Because the problem is, right now we have
a bunch of 1-year deal guys.
Yeah, except for McGovern. And honestly, listen, I like McGovern, but even in Dallas, McGovern had his ups and downs. He has potential, but we'll see. It's still not guaranteed. And there's still a way out, I think, after 2 years. So I think it's a 3-year deal.
There's a way out after 1 year.
Is it? Okay, so technically,
there's a way out next year.
Right. Let's say he has a bad year and we have to shift around again. But either way, I still think we need to work through the draft some more on that. We did a good. This is the first one I could finally say, except for Deion Dawkins' draft, that we finally worked on the offensive line when we drafted Osiris Torrance. You know what I mean? So we got to do that. We got to continue that, doing that, Mikey, in my opinion. Because that's still a work in progress. As far as receivers go, we'll see what happens next year, Mikey.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Gabe Davis is staying around.
Yeah, no, I do think Bean's a really good GM. But listen, every GM, makes mistakes. Let's go to Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman for the Eagles right now is being hailed as the top GM in the league. He took Jalen Reagor and left Justin Jefferson on the board.
Yeah.
He took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
You can listen, guys. Yeah, you can literally go. I'm not a fan. I only got one team I pay attention to. It's Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, hypothetically, if I were to go back in every team's draft and really study and see who they passed on. You could say that about every GM. Like, oh, man, God, how did you pass up on him for him? And, bro, you know how many mistakes are made in the NFL drafts by every single team? I very rarely these GMs get it perfect. I don't think they ever do. Like, they're going to have a good draft, but not every guy is meant to work out. There's guys that are top 10, top 5, scouted high, look great in college, and just flopped in the NFL. It happens.
And then you have guys who get picked
late
in the
sixth round, undrafted,
round and tear it up in the NFL.
Tear it up.
It happens every year. Eric comes in and says, DeAndre Dawkins played poor last year. I watched a bunch of tape and he was getting cooked. Spencer Brown was hot garbage. Okay, let's go back to Deion Dawkins because I think this is a very good topic. Deion Dawkins plays better when he has a guard next to him who can actually hold his own.
Right. Correct.
If you go back and look at Deion Dawkins' career, year 1, he had Richie, killed it. Year 2, Richie was gone. He had someone else, and he flopped. Year 3, they brought in Spain. Spain killed it that first year.
He had a good year. Yeah.
And,
really
Dawkins had a great year. The next year, they brought in Bacher and people like that, and he still had a good year. Last year, they brought in Saffold, and Saffold was bad.
Saffold was bad, yeah.
I agree with you. So Dawkins is bad. Dawkins goes depending on how his running mate goes.
I think that's every offense. I think it's every offensive line. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I for the most part, like if you don't have the guy doing his job next to you, you're gonna look bad. You know what I mean? It's just the way it works. Like offensive line's a unit, man. They got to all work together, right? You know, one guy makes a mistake, they all kind of look bad. You know what I mean? He's covering for him. You know what I mean? So I agree with you, man. Like, and hopefully McGovern is that guy. You get what I'm saying? Because then we're going to be right back to square one where we're like, okay, Ryan Bates, now we need you to go.
McGovern's bad. We have Edwards in the wing, waiting in the wings.
You also got Bates if Bates gets beat out.
See, here's the thing. Knowing Sean McDermott the way I do, I don't see Osiris Torrance starting week 1. I see him starting about week 4, 5, or 6.
I don't think so.
They never start their.
I get it, but then once again, that's me going back to the. I don't know what the hell he's doing then, because that would upset me because that's the whole Kyer Elam thing again. I don't care what you play the guy that is better. You play the guy that wins the position in camp. I don't care what round.
There's a good chance that McGovern doesn't even win a job. What if it's Edwards and Torrance that win the job?
It could be. It could be, but he's still a quality. We still need depth.
Yeah.
You know how offensive line is. So I still want, even if McGovern gets beat out by Edwards, that's fine because you still got a McGovern waiting in the wing in case Edwards go down. So I'm good with that. I don't care. Let them battle it out. Whoever's the best, I don't care. But there's no way. I mean, as of right now, I could see Osiris Torrance getting beat out by Ryan Bates at right guard because Ryan Bates, I like him, but he's not. He's way better at left guard.
He's best at center.
He's best at center, but I'm saying he's better at left guard. I didn't think he played that good last year. I didn't think he played bad.
He played average last year.
But you're telling me Osiris Torrance can't play better than average?
Well, no, here's the thing. And this goes back to what my issue's been about, we played Levi Wallace over guys who were better than him.
Yeah.
Because the coaches trusted in that.
I would think, though.
We see Dane Jackson starting over guys.
True, but I will say this, though. I think Aaron Cromer has a little bit more say than OG Bobby Johnson.
I'm just
saying,
so.
I would think, right, that because here's the deal. I think Sean McDermott has to start listening to his coaching staff. You got some senior guys in there now that know what the hell they're doing. It's not Bobby Johnson anymore. You got Cromer, who's one of the best offensive line coaches in the league for the past whatever seasons, right? Like he is really good. If you don't take his advice and you just want it because you want to do it your way, then this team will never succeed. Sometimes you have to listen to these. That's what you got him there for. So I hope that listen. If that's Cromer's decision, week 1, if Cromer's like, yeah, man, he's not ready yet. Bates has to. Fine, it is what it is. Whatever. Put the best on the field, but I don't believe that. I think you'll see Osiris Torrance week 1, in my opinion.
I hope so, but nothing that this coaching staff has done gives me any confidence that they're going to pick truly who the best is. They're going to go with who they trust.
From years past, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I really hope our new offensive line coach has more of a say, and Now that McDermott's running the defense, he stays out of the offensive side of the ball more.
Get the hell out.
And lets his coaches run it. Jason comes in with a question that says, is Knox injured? Yes, Knox got hurt on day 1 of mini camps. He went up for a pass, came down, was down for a little while. The trainers checked him out. He got up, walked around. He didn't come back, but he was out there. The next day, he had a sleeve on his leg. Went through warm-ups, but didn't do any drills. Nor did we need him to.
Or something.
Yeah.
You got a month off now. I don't know if you'd be too concerned. Yeah, he probably sprained or something, or twisted a little bit.
Bruised leg.
Bruised knee. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I wouldn't be too concerned. It's, he didn't go out in a walking boot or anything.
I'm just worried about what Tommy drinks in the preseason. He's drinking the Bills Kool-Aid this preseason. He's thinking 20-0.
I'm thinking 20-0, baby. I can't wait to do the special prediction.
Right?
Because
so
it's tough for me to root against them.
Let's transition to a more positive note here now, Tommy. So we went through mini camp. I listened to a lot of the Bills players talk. A lot of positive for Dalton Kincaid. And we were talking about this today when we were talking about the weapons via our text chat. And I'm concerned that they're putting this much pressure on a rookie tight end to be that big of a piece of the offense. Right. What's your thoughts around the hype around Dalton Kincaid currently?
Listen, man. Once again, I like the pick, and I think he could be a really good player in this league. I think he will be. I do. I have faith in him. But man, like you said, rookie tight end, usually they don't have great first years. I mean, just go back, really look at all the rookies that came out of their tight ends. They don't really have these unbelievable rookie seasons. And will they put him in the mix that fast? What's the snap count going to be? I think you don't put the pressure on him. I think you just kind of just ease him in there. If he balls out, great. If that dude comes in and Josh and him are having a connection, then cool. Then you could see the snap count going up during the season. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things, Mikey, where maybe it's slow paced during the season, and then it gradually goes up as Josh and him build a chemistry, and as his route running gets like he's still kind of raw in a way. Like Utah, that you know what I mean? Like, so let's see how that goes. I wouldn't expect a crazy year out of Kincaid, though.
Okay, so if he's not going to be getting all those targets early, who's your wide receiver 3?
Sherfield. I want to say Shakir.
You have Sherfield over Shakir?
I do. Right now, I do. Okay. Right now, that doesn't mean though that preseason and training camp that Shakir, won't beat him out. But I just think right now, from all that I heard as well as in minicamp, even though, by the way, it was only 2 days, that Sherfield stood out. That Sherfield was really looking good in those first 2 days. Like, from what I heard from the reporters that were in the there. So that doesn't mean anything. Once again, it's minicamp. It means nothing.
So was McKenzie. McKenzie was supposed to
I get it. I get it. I'm just saying, as of now, but we also heard that about Isaiah Hodgins, and Isaiah Hodgins is actually pretty good. So
yeah, we just never let him get on the field.
He was hurt a lot, too, in the beginning. But my point is, we'll see how – I think preseason will tell a lot, where these guys stand. But the reason why I like Sherfield a little bit over Shakir is because I think he has a little bit, he's been around for a little longer, right? And I think he had a really good year last year with the Dolphins. He's a sure-handed catcher. He's proven that last year. We'll see. I don't know. And he's a little bit tall. I think, is he about the same size as Shakir? I know he's like 6'2", I believe, right?
Yeah, Shakir's
he's up there in height.
Shakir's 6 foot.
Okay, so I think Sherfield's 6'2". Can you pull that up? I'm pretty sure he's a little taller. I could be wrong, but I thought he was a little bit on the taller side. Now, Justin Shorter, I know, is 6'4", but I don't think he'll get any snap count.
Sherfield is 6'1".
6'1", okay. So I thought it was 6'2". Okay, so almost the same size. We'll see. Like I said, I honestly, I'm rooting for Shakir. I would like Shakir to be that 3, Mikey. I just don't know. It all depends how camp goes, honestly. It depends how preseason camp goes. But either way, I think they're very close. I think that'll be a good battle. How about that?
Joey comes in and asks if McGovern doesn't make the team. That saves us money, right? No, it doesn't. He's going to be on the team this year regardless.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
We do. I believe we do have an out next year, but it'd be a post June 1 out. That saves us some money. The big money saved is after next year, the following year. So after 2 years, that's when like really all his guaranteed money and stuff is gone. So we can still get out of it next year if it was just like a bad signing. But I don't think it's gonna be a bad signing. I think McGovern is a solid player and is only getting better.
Yeah.
You know, last year was his first year starting, and he was hurt playing through a knee injury and an elbow injury through most of the season. So, and still played well.
No, it was their first signing. I
What's
think.
going on, Buffalo Dave?
Yeah,
thanks for showing up. So let's look at it this way, Tommy. You tell me, what position battle are you most looking forward to come?
Interesting ones. I don't know about looking for, but I think edge is interesting now that we added Leonard Floyd. I think with the matchup of Shaq, AJ, Boogie, somebody's going to be left out.
Knowing we're going to keep 5 D tackles,
right?
I don't think we're keeping 10. I think we're only keeping 9. So that means there's only going to be 4 D.
That's what I mean. Right. So somebody there is going to be,
and we know
either trade bait or cut.
Yeah, Miller, Rousseau, and Floyd are all guaranteed to be on the roster.
They're locks.
So we have like one spot for Shaq, AJ, and Boogie. Unless we're going to keep 10, but I cannot see.
I don't see it happening. That's interesting to me. It's an interesting. I'm curious because Shaq had a pretty good season.
Chewy, that's right. Should always been Team Mikey. That's right.
Chewy.
Buffalo Dave comes in and says, O-line for me, that left guard spot. I think O-line, that's the interior. I think it's the left and right guard spot. Because I have a feeling it's a 4-way battle. It's McGovern versus Edwards versus Bates versus Torrance. And don't even forget, we still have Bacher, who started for us 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Who didn't play horribly. He was he's a solid fill-in. So, we have a lot of depth on that interior now. I really want to see the competition also on the line, Shell versus Brown. Who's better?
Yeah, that is interesting. But I think you know how like Bean is very high on Spencer Brown still. Yeah. Like the way he talks about him is like it's a stepson. You want to know
why? I'll tell you. I'm almost 100% positive. I think he's so worried about giving up on Spencer Brown too early because he gave up on Teller too early until Teller turned into the All-Pro.
That will kill him. Right. You're right.
That's going to haunt him until he retires.
Now, I know I was talking with Kyle last week, and he was saying that he went on with Joe Marino, and they were saying that Joe was saying that he thinks Spencer Brown's going to be one of those players going to have a breakout year.
I do too.
So I've been on. I'm you know me. I've been on the Spencer Brown train. I still think.
But you call it how you saw it last year.
I did, and I'm a realist. Yeah, I'm a realist as well. But I can also see facts, and I can also tell you why possibly he didn't play up to his potential. And I think it's okay to sometimes, Mikey, excuse some of it's not excuses, but it's okay sometimes to go, hey, man, the dude didn't have any. Do you understand how much these players have to work in the offseason to get their bodies right, to get ready? And he had none of that, right? You got a brand new.
You didn't have training camp.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. So, and you have a brand new offensive line coach, right? So you're not even used to what do you want? You know what I mean? And you're just thrown into and he's not even a veteran who's what I mean? If he was a veteran, right? He's raw, right? So I have faith in him, but let's see. Now there's no more excuses, though. I will say that. You have an off season. If he stays healthy and he gets beat out or just plays like crap, then I think even Brandon Beane will have to say that's a wrap, right? It's not working.
I'm with you on that. I have all the faith in the world in Spencer Brown, but I love that Brandon Beane doubled down with Shell. We know what Shell is. He's a solid tackle. Solid.
He's
solid.
100%.
And
100%.
to know that if Brown doesn't work out, we have a guy that we can turn to in Shell who's going to be solid for us. I'm good with. Chewy comes in and says, Mikey, who's our fastest receiver? Our fastest receiver is actually Hardy.
Yeah, he's
like 5'6", 170 pounds, and just flies.
Yeah, DeAndre Hardy. He's definitely the speedster. He just has to stay healthy.
Yep.
But I'm gonna tell you, man. He when he gets the ball in his hand, he has a little open space. That dude. I mean, he ain't Hill type of fast, but he's close. That dude can fly, bro.
And then I believe Sherfield's after that. Sherfield, really
Sherfield has some speed, boy. Yeah, he does. I mean, listen, even Shakir's not like a slow dude. Shakir ran, I think, a 4.5. I mean,
4.49 or something like that.
Yeah. He's not slow though.
I think he ran 4.49, 4.50 if I remember correctly.
I'm telling you, he has a little bit of speed to him. So, and then you got, I mean, I don't know if Hines makes the team, but Hines is also, I know he's not a receiver, but he can also be a receiver type running back. He has some speed as well. Like that's why they brought him here. You guys saw the speed firsthand on kick return last year. That dude, he has some wheels on him. But that's an interesting one too, right? The running back room, Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we know Cook's there, but will Harris stay healthy throughout camp and preseason? Then you got I forget his name again, the guy we got from Denver, Latavius Murray, who had a pretty good season last year. He's a vet. He's a bigger back, just like a Harris. And then you got Hines, who's a speedster, who's catches pass out the backfield. But I think right now, because of the new kickoff rule, I would say that Hines is on that bubble.
So Shakir ran 4.75 and then turned around and ran a 4.43.
Yeah. They said something was wrong the first time he ran. Yeah. I think it was like
he ran a 4.75 and then a 4.43,
which is fat. Yeah, 4.4 is. Guys, that's right, dude. That's right.
So it's one of those. Our running back room is very, very risky. Let me put it that way. It's boom or bust in our running back room because we know what Harris is if he stays healthy. He's a banger. He's a really solid running back. Yep. James Cook looked fantastic in the second half of last year, but we don't know what he's going to look like as a full time.
Right? Because now it's all right. Yep. Right. Singletary ain't here no more.
Latavius Murray hasn't had a full workload in years. He's been half season, and when you limit his carries, he's a very effective big back. And Nyheim Hines, we don't know what he is in our offense. Right. We haven't been able to figure out a way to use that guy. Right. Like, if you go back to the way he was used in Indy, he's a decent running back, but he's a better receiver than running back. Passing down guy. And he's great on special teams. So, when you look at it, like, we don't have a alpha male back there. It's a bunch of dudes who are all going to have roles. Right. And we better hope they all stay healthy and our offensive line can create some holes for them.
Right.
Because none of them are, like, outside of Latavius Murray, none of them are going to run into a pile and push the pile.
Correct. Well, we're still trying to figure out the running back.
Yeah.
Like, years after LaShawn McCoy left. Like, we're still, they got to figure that one out next too, Mikey. I mean, unless James Cook has a breakout year, and shows that all he needed was a little bit better blocking, to be that guy. And it's possible. Very possible.
I'll tell you where my biggest camp battle is. CB2. I was listening to Sal Sports. I was listening to the Shout podcasts and all the different ones. Joe Marino. I listened to all those guys.
Yeah.
And listening to them talk, I think it was Sal, John Scott, and somebody else they were all on and they were talking about it, and they said you would love to think that Kyer Elam was going to be in the lead for the CB2, but the way that they're talking, it's Dane Jackson, then it's Benford, and then it's Elam, in that order going into camp. And I'll tell you, that's concerning. If we're running Dane Jackson as our CB2,
that's a problem.
At what point are we going to let our young guys go out and prove it or not? Give them freaking chance, man.
Well, then does that fall back on? Here we go again with Sean McDermott.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you have to put some onus on the player.
It's like, dude, right? You drafted on it, and you draft. It's your dude, right? Like you and Bean selected him. Have some faith in him. Now, bro, now you got no excuse. Now you're going year 2, and you're going to put him that low on the totem pole. Get out of here with that.
If Dane starts, I want McDermott fired.
You know. Did you want to answer that question real quick before I chew you, by the way, about the return rule?
Where is it? I didn't see it.
That.
Can you explain the new return rule?
The kickoff return
rule. Oh, the kickoff return rule. So, if the ball is pooch punted, so if you notice, a lot of times there's a lot of these kickoffs that don't go into the end zone. They try to pin them down inside of like the 5. Right. Tommy talked about the one where they kicked it really high and it bounced around, and he's like, let's do that every time because the Bills almost gave it back to him.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
they did against us.
So now you have the ability to fair catch anywhere you want. Before, if you fair caught it, you got it where you fair caught it on the kickoff. Now they take it out to the 25. They're trying to eliminate those short area collisions. Now, if you have a returner, i.e., Naeem Hines, if people aren't going to put the value in the kicking game anymore, kick coverage game, you might see more returns if you get a real returner. It may not limit them like they're thinking it's going to. Or are you going to fair catch it at the 2 and just take the ball to 25?
Right. I think it's all
just on kickoff.
So
what you're going to see is more squib kicks.
Right, past the 20. Like
you're gonna see people squib kicking.
I see what you're saying. So it takes a while to kind of like get on the ball
because you can't fair catch a squib kick. So if you want to still pin them in and have your coverage team do it, you squib kick it down there.
I don't know.
There's always loopholes in all this stuff.
Yeah, I just hate. I hate it. I hate it.
Me too.
I almost would call fair catch every. I think I'd almost fair catch it every single time.
Do you remember growing up and getting all pumped before the game, and then you hear the whoa, boom, and you kick off
on the opening kickoff? Loved it. Bro,
and then,
I love kickoffs. Then
in the Super Bowl, they have the opening kickoff to Devin Hester, and he returns it for a touchdown.
The best ever. It's
you're gonna take that. You're gonna take that play out of the game now.
Yeah, I hate it. I absolutely.
So yeah, that's what it is. Ultimately, you can fair catch it anywhere and get the ball to 25 like a touchback. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Okay, here's the question from Buffalo Dave. Are you guys more worried about the Fish or the Jets? The Fish. Dude, the Fish have a stacked roster, and they have fantastic coaches.
And you still don't know what they're going to do if they go out and get Cook, which is the rumor for a little while.
If they go get Cook, they're going to have to push some salary down because they don't have the money.
I know. They do.
And
you know how that works, though. If you want a player, you can do it. Make it happen.
Yep.
I'm with you on that.
I still don't think they have the best offensive line there.
Yeah, it's still a question mark. I think it's a question mark.
Their defense is really good. I love Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, they upgraded right there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You saw a lot of cover 0 from them last year.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio is going to bring simulated pressure. It's not going to be cover 0s. You're going to find some zones and still get the blitzes. He is so freaking good at disguising coverage.
And if listen, I don't know how good the coach is going to wind up being there, in years to come.
I like Mike McDaniel. He's
but as
smart
of now,
guy.
right. So he's an offensive-minded coach. I think he's a really good offensive. I respect that part of him. I just don't know how he'd be as a coach. He made some questionable. Obviously, you saw last year with the Tua thing. I don't. He doesn't really. Talks a little weird with the media. I don't think he handled the Tua situation very good. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I think right now, so the Jets are the Jets, guys. The Jets, I'm sorry for you Jets fans, but listen, they are the Jets. And on paper, they've looked good many years, and they've blown it. So I get they upgraded their quarterback position, but they still have stuff to prove. I think the Dolphins are right now the team that is on the Bills' coattails. I think they upgraded in almost every position. I think they upgraded their defensive coordinator, which was much needed. I think the addition of Jalen Ramsey is huge.
They didn't upgrade. They didn't upgrade their O-line.
No, except for their O-line. I'm sorry. You're right. Except for the O-line. But everywhere else, they have weapons almost everywhere. And what's scary about that team, in my opinion, the speed element. They are probably the fastest team in the NFL. But there is a huge question mark, Mikey.
Yeah,
that's the quarterback
at the most important position. There's a huge question, and as someone said in here, they have an Achilles heel at quarterback.
Right. You know? So that is the problem, right? That's where how far can he get that team? Even with how far can he stay healthy? How many games can he be around for? You know, there's a lot.
Everyone talks about Tua. You know, Tua was fantastic when he was on the field. Tua was fantastic early when he was on the field. If you watch as the season went on, defense started understanding what they were doing. Like you look at the 49ers game, you turn around and look at the Chargers game. Like they figured out what they were trying to do, and they were able to slow Tua down. I know everyone talks about the playoff game where they hung almost 30 on the Bills, but no one talks about how the Bills were playing with half a defense.
Right.
Like there was injuries on our side too, you know?
Yeah, injuries happen, man. I mean, I agree with you there. I mean, a lot happened to the Bills, really.
You know, but Tua took jiu-jitsu this offseason, learned how to fall down, so maybe he won't hurt his head anymore. Listen, I never hope for a quarterback to get hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Right. I hope Tua stays healthy. I just hope he sucks.
Yeah, listen.
I don't want the Dolphins to be good.
He's an accurate when he's healthy. He's not a back. Like I think he got put in a very good system. He has I know that's what I'm saying. But I think when healthy, I think he's proven that he can under McDaniel, and with the weapons he has. I think he's proven that he can be a good quarterback. But once again, can he stay healthy, right? How many games can he stay healthy for, right? Because listen, let's just say hypothetically he makes it all the way almost close and then he gets hurt right before the playoffs. Well, then guess what? Now they're down to Mike Whiting. You know what I mean? Now they're down to backup again. That's just like last year. They crept in the playoffs, but they didn't have a quarterback. Could that game have been different with the healthy Tua? I don't know. Maybe, but we don't know. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the big question mark. But I still think overall, I think the Dolphins are in better position than the Jets still.
Me too. Well, what Aaron Rodgers do you get? Do you get MVP Aaron Rodgers from a few years ago, or do you get last year's Aaron Rodgers who was battling a broken thumb? Right. Because there was a completely different Aaron Rodgers last year.
Oh, totally. And that last game of the season where they got beat up by the Lions basically at the end there too was embarrassing. I mean, at home,
so it's
you have a chance to make the playoffs.
Aaron is it? You know,
right? And that was a terrible.
If they get MVP Aaron Rodgers, there's a good chance that the Jets will be better.
100%, because they got a legit defense.
Yeah,
I think their coach is a really good defensive-minded head coach. Who's a feisty guy. He's an upcoming coach. I think he could be respected right now. We'll see. But they got the rookie receiver who had a really good year last year.
Oh God, I love him.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson.
And
they got Breece Hall coming back.
Yeah, and he's still. I don't think he'll be ready week 1 yet, though. They're still talking that
I don't think you'll see actual Breece Hall being the Breece Hall we saw last year until 2024.
Exactly. You know how the ACLs work.
It takes about 2 years to be fully healthy.
I agree with you, and especially for running back with the cuts and all that.
Yep. Who knows? Maybe he's an Adrian Peterson, and he's just a freak of nature. I don't know.
Right.
As it is, I didn't think he was going to be good, and he proved me wrong there. So, Game Lounge comes in and says, what's going to happen to Sean if the Bills don't make it this year? I really think it's going to depend where he loses.
Oh, man.
If the Bills don't win it this year, I think it depends. If we don't go past the divisional round this year, I think there's going to be real questions about his future here. He may get canned. And it really depends on how it goes down. Do we have all of our players? And did we just get outcoached? How did we lose? If he makes it to the conference championship game or the Super Bowl, then I think he stays.
I can kind of go on board with that. So here's how I think. You're in year 7 now. I mean, guys, year 7. Like it time's flown by. Mikey, I swear to God, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, damn, how long has he been here? Because kind of felt like it was 3, 4, 5, but I'm like, no, we won 3 in a row. And then I'm like, holy shit, he's been here a long time. Like, he's been here a minute. And the best we got, the best we got was the championship, which was cool, AFC, but we got smoked. And then we
weren't prepared for it.
No, exactly. We got smoked. And then we haven't been back since. And he's a good regular season coach. But something happens when he gets to the playoffs against better coaching oppositions where he kind of just crumbles, or he folds, or he just gets this, like, he gets kind of out coached, and he also gets like scared coaching, and right? Like, so here's how I see it. Even if he gets to the AFC East Championship and he loses, I think honestly, Mikey, it all depends who is out there for a head coaching spot. Let's say there's a guy out there. I'm just saying, let's say like a Sean Payton. Sean Payton went to Denver, right?
I cannot believe we let him.
Exactly. But let's just say hypothetically Sean Payton didn't get hired. He was hired. Let's say he's available next season. Then
or Sean McVay.
Or McVay. Then there's a really good. Then I would say 100% you need to do it. But I would almost still be on board, honestly, at this point. You can't keep doing this game where you're like, well, let's just give him one more year. And then you're eventually going, well, damn, we're 9 seasons in. Like, time flew by.
Yeah, Josh's prime is coming towards the end of it.
Even Diggs' prime eventually, right? Like, Von Miller's going to be gone by, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's guys that are headed.
Hyde and Poyer's primes are over.
Right. So it's like, do you want to go to this, like, you need to start thinking about that. And I think Bean, listen, I get it. McDermott brung in Bean. Like, I get it. That's your boy. But there comes a time, Mikey, where Bean's going to have to just go with the ownership and talk to them and say, I love the dude, but we have to change direction now. Like, he's just not, he can't get us there. You know? And it happens. That happens.
I don't know if people do that. So I want to hit on Y-Town's question. He says, the best we got was AFC Championship game. How soon we forgot the 17-year playoff drought. And listen,
I am with you.
I love what McDermott has done to this point.
Right.
And I pray to God that he gets over the hump this year and then he stays with us for another 20 years. And he's our Bill Belichick long-term head coach that brought us back Super Bowls. I really hope that's the case.
Yep.
But at what point do we say, okay, we're just happy with making the playoffs every year?
Right. See, Y-Town, like, that's the thing. Like, me and Mikey aren't sitting here dogging what Sean McDermott and Brandon Bean's done. Matter of fact, I know me personally, I've talked how unbelievable, like, they have been to the city of Buffalo, what they've done to this team. Listen, I've been a fan since '89. I've lived it. It's not like I'm a newbie here, and I only been around since the good. Like, I understand the 17-year drought. I get it. It was terrible. It was miserable going through GMs, going through head coaches, the same bull crap every other 2-3 years with a new coach. I respect the hell out of what they've done so far, but what we're saying is, when is the time where you say it's just not going to happen? We have to move forward. You cannot
At what point
keep
do you
playing.
Cut the Marvin Lewis.
Right. You can't, like, that's where we're going with this. Not that, Sean McDermott, terrible. It's all he's done.
He's not terrible. He's a really good head coach.
Right.
And he'll probably get hired the second we let him go. But at some point, that voice gets stale.
Exactly. And listen, and I'll take it back to every sport, Mikey. And I said this before.
Before you go to that point. Andy Reid had to leave the Eagles
Philly,
before he was able to get over
find his way in Kansas City. Yeah, and then found his quarterback. Everything kind of started connecting for him. I agree with that too. But then there's
Scott.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Scott's like, you're a newbie, Tommy. I've been watching since the early 70s.
Hey, you're right. I'm in '89. Whatever, you got me there. But hey, I still went through heartache, buddy. But no, my point is, Mikey, there's been like that in every sport. Look at NBA, right? I said it before. There's been coaches that can get you. Look at the coach of the year for Toronto. They fired him, Dwayne Casey. They wind up getting a new coach and won the NBA championship that following year. And everyone's like, oh my God, how do you fire the coach of the year, right? How do you let that guy go? Well, because he's just not, he can't, I don't think they can get it done. It's been like that. The Pistons did the same thing. They hire Larry Brown. Larry Brown got the job done. It works that way. Flip Saunders, great coach, rest in peace. He could never get Minnesota to that point. Great regular season coach, get you to the playoffs, but for some reason, it stopped there. I don't
Mike
know what
D'Antoni.
it is. Yes,
Mike D'Antoni.
exactly.
You go back and look at Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson was the Golden State Warriors. They brought in Steve Kerr and they took him over the top. Yeah, totally. It's one of those things. Like, listen, I love and appreciate what Sean McDermott has brought to the Bills. He's brought stability to an organization that didn't have it
100%.
For really most of the mid of my life.
Yeah, I agree. He actually, and it was the first time, Mikey, and you can agree with this too, that a coach, because they all say the greatest things when they get hired. They go on the podium, they tell you what they're going to do. They're going to bring, playoff football back or whatever. They're going to get the right guys, and it's usually lies, right? And they never, right? It never happens, right? And we're like, oh yeah, we heard his song and dance before. I'll give Sean McDermott all the credit in the world. He said what he's going to do, and he's done it. Like, he got us back on the top.
Outside of saying he's going to build through the draft.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
I mean, because we do have some foundational pieces through the draft, but we've missed a lot on draft picks, and we've had to bring in some high priced veterans to try to push those over the top. That's the only piece. But everything else, he said he was going to bring in accountability. He said he was going to bring in, toughness,
leadership and
sustainability and all that, and he has. And I will appreciate everything that Sean McDermott's done for us, but at some point, do you just keep replaying the record over and over and being okay with, not winning it? The ultimate goal is Super Bowl.
Exactly.
31 teams a year is disappointed.
Right. Exactly. It's not to be AFC East champions. Like, listen, it was so exciting when we won the AFC East. I remember that. We finally dethroned the Patriots, right? Remember? Finally did it. But now we're like, we know we can do it. Right? We're going into our fourth time in a row winning the AFC East championship. Like, we have to get over it. Now we need to win the AFC championship. Like, we need to be we can't. We're just stuck. I feel like we're stuck in the mud.
Yep.
And I still think McDermott. Here's my problem with McDermott too, Mikey. When playoffs come, or even regular season games, when things get tight, when things aren't going right, or where they're really, he really starts to tense up. I feel like you see it, like things change. Like he calls stupid timeouts, or he just it's almost like he folds under pressure. And I really hope that he finds his way with that, because that is a coaching thing. And he was a new head coach, but now he's not new anymore. 7 seasons. Like, you got to correct your ways. I hate that whole thing where it's like every press conference when we lose a game, Mikey, it's we left plays on the field. I hate that, dude. Right. It's like, really? Yeah, dude. We all saw it.
I'll have to go back and watch the tape.
You're right. We have to go back and watch the tape. Right. I don't. I know exactly what happened. Right?
Now, let me end on a positive. Sean McDermott is a very good head football coach. He has some flaws, and he's all about getting better. I need to see him make those corrections this year to bring us to where we want to go. I pray, Youngtown, seriously, I hope that Sean McDermott's his guy. I've been on him since day one. I liked him when he was the defensive coordinator at Philly, when he learned under the late great Jim Johnson, and then I liked him when he was the defensive coordinator at Carolina. When we hired him, I was stoked. Tommy didn't know much about him.
I didn't know much about him.
I did, though. And when me and Tommy hooked up, I explained to him, I've been following this guy because they took him from defensive coordinator and made him an offensive line coach, and then they fired him.
Yeah, I didn't know. Most of the guys, you know why too? Well, Mike, you got to remember, most of the guys we hired in Buffalo, and it's the truth. Let's be honest here. A lot of these guys they didn't even have the best background. They weren't even the best their coordinator position, right? I'm just saying, look at all of them, right? I'm just saying, dating back before McDermott, it's always these guys that were except for Rex Ryan, right? Rex Ryan was the only guy that was previous head coach, got he got into the playoffs. There was a little hype there behind it, but risky hype, right? With Rex Ryan. But he was the first real name, I would say, that the
before
Bills
that we were
hired.
getting the Dick Gerons and the Chan Galeys, and, the Mike Malarkeys, and
those guys guys that just weren't going to do it.
We didn't have a fortified front office like we do now.
No,
we have fantastic ownership.
Yeah,
we have great owners who sign the checks and stay out of the way for the most part. and
Right.
and allowed our front office to go out and hire. Brandon Beane is a fantastic GM, has a great front office put together. Yeah. It's one of those things. Like, look, you watched two of our guys walk out, go to the New York Giants, and turn them into playoff contenders right off the
just
year
like
one.
That. Right.
Year one. Now, do I think they're going to be playoff contenders year two? Probably not. They're still in the rebuild. But, you know, like Joe Shane and Brian Daboll did fantastic work. You know?
No, you got to give them credit.
It's one of those things of at what point do you say, okay, it's not working? I don't want Josh Allen to be 33 and then they decide, okay, we're going to bring in a new head coach.
Right. And by then you have lost, trust me, you have already lost some players.
We've lost Josh should be on 33. That's, you know, another 6 years.
Right.
You know, he's 27 now. So,
exactly.
You know, Diggs will be gone and all those guys will be gone. But I don't want to wait another 3-4 years and have all these guys turned over before we say, okay, it didn't work. Oops.
Right. Exactly. We waited too long to make it make the change. You know what I mean? Because I don't even think it's an oops. Because even if they listen, guys, even if they got rid of McDermott, let's say hypothetically he doesn't do it this year and they do let him go. Let's just say, I as a Bills fan will say nothing but praise for what Sean McDermott did while he was here, and I think he could walk out with his head up high. You know what I mean? And I think they would give him honestly, claps out the door because that dude did bring Buffalo Bills football back.
He did.
He was part of it. So I don't think there's no shame, and it is what it is, right? You just, for some reason it just wasn't going to happen with you. But you did really good while you're here. It's just time for a change. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'll be on board. And listen, I'll never go back and say, Mikey, oh man, Sean McDermott. Like, I'll say, dude was a good coach. He tried his best. He got us AFC championships, but we needed a change, and I understood why. That's where I would be at it. No problem. I want to dog the guy. I want to say, oh, what a terror. But if you wait too long, then I might go, oh, because remember what happened with Marvin Lewis? As they went on, like, Bengals fans loved him for a long time, but eventually they started turning bad. And then it was just like, fire him, right?
Yeah, let's look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid got canned after a divisional loss. John Fox in Denver got canned after a divisional loss. Steve Mariucci, after a divisional round playoff, got canned after a loss. So you see, these guys who have Super Bowl rings, Super Bowl winning head coaches get canned after that because they're like, okay, they're just not taking them any farther. And at some point, you have to be able to cut bait. Now, I hope that's not the case. I hope he gets us over and we win the Super Bowl. And he's riding down the parade because he's laid the foundation here. I hope he gets the payoff.
Dude, I was telling Mikey before we started, guys, I'm like, it would be great if all this crap that happened in the offseason with the Diggs and, McDermott and all this crap going on, and we wind up winning the Super Bowl.
That'd be awesome.
I
hope it happens.
Right. I'd be like, yo, do it again.
Yep. Have Diggs yell at all the coaches. Right. Fire them up.
Right. Let's do it all over again, man. I have no problem.
Yep. So, all right, Tommy, you got anything on the books for this week?
No, but I will say, guys, we will be going live on Monday very soon. We said mid-June. We are mid-June now. Yep. So I would say we're going to go the first week of July now. We were saying mid-June, but Mikey right now is just, he's also really, really tied up with work. It's more fun with Mikey. Obviously, I can go solo, but I prefer not to. So we're going to go July 100%. July, the first week of July, we will be back on Mondays.
Let's look at July. July 3rd is the first Monday. We shouldn't do July 4th.
So we'll do July the following week.
July 10th.
July 10th. So July 10th. Go ahead. Mike.
That's perfect. July 10th we go live because then that will lead us into our position things going into camp at the end.
Exactly. There'll be a lot of talk about going into camp, and we'll do
position battles. Who we have, who we think is going to win. Exactly. Our preseason 52-man roster. We'll be doing our preseason win predictions. All that starting July 10th.
Way too early prediction. Yeah. And then we'll also do some fun stuff, top 10, top 5 thing. We'll mix it up because there's a whole month of nothing really going on now. So, but then Fridays, no matter what, we will still be here Friday.
Yeah.
Every Friday at 8:30.
Every Friday.
So, Scott Blakely, you're not live now. No, this is a recording, Scott. This is a recording. We've been recording the whole
No,
time.
we're gonna do we're gonna go back and do Mondays and Fridays. The Monday shows will be on Buffalo Fan Base, so we'll still be on our channel as well, but we'll be doing it on Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
Fan Base
yeah, we
and
ain't going nowhere.
Twitter. So
yeah, we're just talking about Mondays because y'all remember last year we do Mondays and Fridays. So Monday we do at 9:00 Eastern, and then Fridays we do at 8:30. I'm just saying the Monday show will be returning in July. Friday show, we're here every Friday at 8:30. That's not going to change no matter what. That's a year round, guys. So other than that, no, man. Just like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Go ahead.
Before we close, we'll close it with this final comment. Can the Bills win the Super Bowl without Diggs?
No.
If we sign D-Hop as a wide receiver 2, yes. If Diggs is our only alpha, no, we can't. If we go out,
all right,
and
is he saying without him, no Diggs at all?
Well, no. He Diggs just it just says for whatever reason can we win it without him? Yes, if we sign, a D-Hop type, another alpha receiver to go. Otherwise, no. Diggs is too much of our offense.
I agree.
Josh Allen said it himself.
I agree with that.
This doesn't work without him.
I still don't know. You're talking about Super Bowl. No, like even with I love D-Hop.
D-Hop is so good.
I do, but
He's
I also
so
will
good.
tell you, he is. But Diggs is still right now.
A lot of people don't think not even D-Hop.
I still think Diggs is still I think Diggs is more of a top 5 than D-Hop, or D-Hop's right now in the maybe top, squeezing in the top 10 right now, maybe around there. I just think honestly, here's where I land with Diggs, Mikey. Diggs is a better route runner than D-Hop. Yep. He's also way more. He's also, him and Josh have a connection.
Yep.
D-Hop has yet to. You know what I mean? Like that would the way that Diggs came in here and they instantly had a connection. It doesn't always happen. There's star receivers that go to other teams that don't always ball out right away. Him and Josh had that connection. Would D-Hop and Josh instantly have a connection? I don't know. So I would say. I would lean towards no on that, but it don't matter. Diggs is here. Go ahead.
Casey does it with Kelsey. We'll do it with our tight end room. That's a lot. That'd be dumping a whole heap of pressure on a rookie tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And everyone says D-Hop's old. D-Hop's not that old. He's 30.
No, man. D-Hop's, to Mike's point, D-Hop is still a very good receiver. Physical, great hands. Listen, he's not a speed kind of guy. He's never been. He's just I'll catch
really
that.
Good route runner and big body contested catch.
And he can catch. And listen, he can catch any ball anytime. Like that dude is. He's not dropping passes. Like that dude is very reliable. He jumped between
3 All-Pros and came down with it against the Bills.
He freaking grabbed the ball underneath his legs, remember? And it was like a penalty against him. But it was probably the most unbelievable catch I've ever seen.
Yep.
And it was called
His hands are just so big. It's hard for him to drop things.
No, dude is legit beast. But it doesn't matter because he wants
money.
$15 million.
And we ain't got it.
I don't know. We got 7. All right. So,
not only do we only have 7, but we have to have money to play within the year for.
I know, to pick up guys. Yeah, dude.
Call up and calls down. So it's not even like we can just say, okay, we're going to.
Unless Vaughn wants to pay him.
Hey, listen, it's not Madden. You can't go all the way right up to that sour.
I'm going to cut the salary off on the settings.
Yeah. So, all right, Tommy. Thank you, chat, for being here tonight. It was a fantastic show. I missed you guys last week. Thank Tommy and Dr. Kyle Trimble for holding it down while I was out. And now I'm back, and we'll see you guys next Friday.
All right, go Bills, man. We love
you. Go Bills.
Peace.